Has to clap the green button.
Yeah, let's clap.
Just give me 1 second. All right, just 1 second.
Do the clap.
It has to be 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Epidose Podcast. I'm your host, Nicholas Martinez. Here with me today
Is the other host, Joshua Urbina.
And the final host, Jacob Delarosa.
Today, we're going to be talking about how does Mount Diablo High School help students as individuals grow into adults after high school with the tools and knowledge to be successful. So, we're students from Mount Diablo High School, and we're here to talk about why we're qualified to talk about it. No, not necessarily. I think we should first talk about like who we are. I'm Nicholas Martinez. I'm a DSA senior. I think we're all DSA seniors actually.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I'll explain later what Digital Safari Academy means, or what the Academy system is later. I'm going to UCLA. I'm an art student. I'm a design student. I'm all of that. I have club experience, volunteering experience. But I also have a passion for education and actually, how do kids learn and how does it affect them, especially through high school. High school is such an important part in a teenager's life. At least for now, not like afterwards, it might not mean anything, but we're also here to tell you what Mount has to offer. So
Right.
That's who I am. I'm going to kick it off to Jake.
Okay. So I'm Jacob Delarosa, as you know. I'm actually a part of that ROTC program at Mount Diablo High School. And I'm first in command in that program. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm Joshua Urbina. I'm a DSA senior as well, and I'm also part of the junior ROTC program. I'm the second in command, and I also enlisted into the military. Excited, doing in 2 months.
Jacob just waved that he forgot to mention that he was enlisted in the military.
Yeah.
Yes, I am
Jacob
going
and
there as
Josh
well.
are both. Yeah, they're both.
we're both.
enlisted.
I'm excited for the military. It's always been a part of my brain wanting to do that. Even since I was a little kid. And I have a lot of plans for the future, and I'm really excited for it.
Well, that's good. I hope we're all excited for the future because the past year has just been
A lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready to get out of high school.
I'm
Yes.
ready to move on. Thank
Yeah,
God
me
we're
too.
here to talk about Mount Diablo High School in person because we have experience for that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I guess we can also talk about how, because this is filmed in 2021, but we're seniors the year of 2020 to 2021. So you can probably imagine how the world is right now
Yeah.
in this time, in this moment, So let's talk about AP classes.
I can't really discuss the AP classes because I haven't taken one AP class.
Me and Josh can talk about that.
Yeah,
'cause
you
you're
guys can
taking
talk
AP
about that.
classes.
Yeah, I'm taking AP Gov.
He's taking AP.
And
government.
how is that online?
With Scott, basically, you have like a 20-minute session.
So Scott's your teacher.
Yeah. So Mr. Scott, or Scott Ananos, is my AP government teacher. So basically what he does for Zoom is just does like a 20 or sometimes even like 5-minute class and then assigns us a bunch of homework.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in AP Gov who say Scott's class is a big, like, you have to do a lot of work for his class, even
Yeah.
though you only meet for like 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird. Like, how do you just have a class where you meet virtually for like 10 minutes and then you assign like
Well,
5 pieces of homework for that's due like at the end of the week?
Yeah, because like a lot of the material that we do learn is just straight from the book. So we have like a book that we had to read for the AP Gov. So usually we have like 3 chapters, and then we had to take notes on it, and then we had to do summary lectures. Sometimes he gives lectures as well. Mostly, we've been doing a lot of research or like notes on like Supreme Court cases.
Yeah,
because that's what government is all about. A lot of times, like
it's U.S. government, right?
yes,
Yeah, it's U.S. government.
just U.S. government. But it's actually pretty fun learning about government. I preferred economics because when economics is my thing because I wanted to go into business administration. So like all the economical and like the fiscal policy and stuff like that, it's more interesting to me than rather than the government side.
Right. Also, you're saying AP class for you so virtual AP class is not bad.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to do a bunch of homework in his class.
You just committed to doing the homework, but you also have to read from the book, right?
Yeah, I had to read from the book.
So you have to read from the book. I mean, that's how a lot of AP classes are. Like I remember when our sophomore year, we took AP World History.
Yes.
And it was a lot of reading from the textbook.
A whole lot. But AP World has been my favorite AP class that I taken in high school because I love world history. That's just what mostly interests me. And I even got a 4 in the
AP test.
Yeah.
World history was great.
Yeah. And we had a really good teacher.
We had a really good teacher. His name was Mr. Will.
Yeah.
He's not currently a teacher at Mount anymore, which is sad. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is very sad because he was actually a really good teacher.
Yeah, because I know for his AP class, it like the average for like students that were passing would pass like the California standard.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So basically what Josh means is that there's a average for how many students pass the AP test per AP class. So every high school who has an AP World class, and it counts all the students in the class that passed the test. And there's an average for the state of California, which is where we are. And Mr. Will's class passed the average for the state, on the test, which means you're a really good teacher if you pass the average,
Right.
So I have to give
major props
to him as a teacher. I really loved learning in his class.
It was so fun.
It was my first AP class, our sophomore year. I couldn't have asked for more, If you slacked in that class, that was your fault. I mean,
I slacked in that class.
We both did sometimes, Sometimes we both. I have to admit, I did slack sometimes in this class. Reading was hard. Like reading the entire textbook is hard. That's why it's an AP class.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't expect to have to read every chapter in a big textbook.
And then we had to learn how to write essays.
Essays. I'm glad I learned how to write essays in his class.
Heck yeah.
It was really, really good teaching.
Yeah.
Just how to make
That's what we mostly focused on though. Essays and the SAQs, which is like short
answer questions. Yeah. LAQs were the long
essay questions,
SAQ, short answer questions.
Yeah.
It's a lot of writing. Every week you learned something new from a chapter or the entire chapter itself. And you had to do a short answer question every week.
Yeah.
During the school year.
So fun.
And then sometimes you had like all of a sudden you have to write an LAQ. It would be like, okay, long essay. So you just have to have.
And you only have like 60 minutes.
You only have the class period, which was 60 minutes to write an essay.
Yeah.
If you didn't study for it.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Right.
So that's AP World. That was our sophomore year. That was a good class. Very well taught. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I got a 3 on that test.
Mm-hmm.
Probably due to the curve. I mean, I wouldn't have passed it honestly. But I'm glad I did.
I was really proud of myself. I was surprised that I got a 4.
Yeah.
But it also made sense because I don't know, I just understood the material.
Yeah. It's a lot about keeping that knowledge, understanding the times, the eras that we had to study, and how to connect it,
And the essay portion is so important when it comes to the AP exam because if you're able to write an essay in a 60-minute period, then you're pretty much good for AP exams.
You just can't make up, when you're writing an essay, you can't make up stuff. That's why you have to read from the textbook, memorize what happened,
and then make sure you have all of your evidences and you're able to explain it.
Yeah, exactly. Introduce your thesis, explain why your thesis makes sense, and then you end it off there.
Yeah.
It's like a persuasive essay, basically.
I have a question.
Oh, what's up?
Also, if you guys don't you're wondering why I'm not engaging in the conversations because I didn't take an AP class at Mount Diablo. That's just due to electives that I needed, like JRTC, and I needed that all 4 years. And that's just another problem that we can go over with Mount Diablo High School.
We'll talk about that.
I was actually about to ask you, like, you can go on. Sorry.
So my question was, like, how many people actually drop out of AP class?
A few.
Oh,
Like at AP
like
classes.
during AP World, there was 2 periods for AP World.
yeah.
There was probably maybe 10. Man, 10?
For my class, I was in first period. A lot of people, like, not half, but at least 1/4 of the students.
1/4.
I think so.
1/4 of the students dropping out?
Something like
That's
that.
a lot. I mean, to answer your question, a lot of people dropped out in
Yeah.
like the first, second
Basically.
quarter, even sometimes during
Even
the
in
third quarter.
Yeah.
If you just like couldn't vibe with the class. I mean, it's understandable. If you can't get, I mean, the pace that AP class is really fast.
Yeah.
And if you can't get with it, you keep failing, every test, every writing section at the end of the week, you have to drop the class. You
Yeah.
can't be in the class.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it's a textbook, man.
I
And
mean,
you have
that's
to
why
read through it.
it's really important with AP classes, like, just to watch a bunch of YouTube videos.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
that's what we did.
that was what was good with Mr. Will's class, is that as a teacher, not only did he help us
Oh.
with learning, from the book, and every time we came into class, there would be like a lecture of maybe something we didn't pick up in the book, or to review something that might have been a little complicated. But then he would also be like supplying us with YouTube videos,
Yeah.
other evidence for our essays, and other things to look at from previous years too.
Yeah. He was really smart about it.
Yeah, he would put them in. We had a Google Classroom, and he would put them in the Google Classroom for us to review.
Bunch of YouTube videos.
A bunch of YouTube videos. So if you're like an
Sources.
audible learner, then you can learn from there too.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of support.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a
For-
lot of support. I actually have one question real quick. I wanted to ask Jacob, like, since you didn't take AP classes, like, how do you, I guess, feel? Because I remember, no, scratch that.
No, go ahead.
Okay, anyway. I remember you saying, like, you kind of regretted not taking certain AP classes. So, like, how is it from your standpoint?
So, I mean, there's 2 different sides that I have on it. One side is that, yes, I do regret not taking an AP class. I mean, I'd probably have a 4.0 if I took like one AP class. But then again, if I didn't take it, how would I know if I get below a 3.9? I'd probably be a 3.2 if I took an AP class. Like, I would have no idea. But at the end of the day, the reason why I didn't take it is because of JRTC. I really wanted to stay in JRTC, and in order to do that, there are so little electives that could be taken. And that is just due to the academies.
So we talked about academic opportunities at Mount, but we can also talk about the lack there is of because of the academy system. So basically, if you don't know what the academy is, or the academies, Mount Diablo High School is an academy school, meaning we have 5 academies for career-focused academic classes. So since we stated in our introductions that we're DSA seniors, so we're part of the Digital Safari Academy. So this academy focuses on multimedia and computer science learning. So we would take electives with that as basically, as a freshman, we took art design. And then once we're a sophomore all the way to now, we take multimedia. Or if you wanted computer science, you would choose that route after you were a freshman. So it's basically like digital art or filmmaking, or if you're computer science, you're like making websites, making web-based games and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's career focus. It focuses on what you want to do after high school, which is great. A lot of academies offer that or try to offer that, and it's not a bad idea. I mean, I right now I'm gonna go to UCLA as a designer, and I can account a lot of that towards DSA. I can account a lot of my success to DSA and its great teachers and instruction.
Amazing teachers.
Amazing teachers in DSA.
Mm-hmm.
But DSA Academy electives kind of eliminate, we can only have 6 periods every day. So that's 6 classes.
And this is not just DSA, it's just all the academies.
This is all the academies. It's a problem with all the academies. When you have an academy elective, you can't get out of that elective because you need it for what academy you're in. So if you're in DSA, you're taking multimedia, you have one class in that 6 period schedule that's a DSA class. For us, that's multimedia. So then that only leaves you with, you have to take your core classes, which is English. You have to take math, your science classes, and your social studies classes. So that's 5 that you have just with the academy class. So what? You have one more class to take an elective. You kind of need 2 years of a language, and you need PE.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is a big problem because you have to kind of figure out what classes you're going to take in order to get your A through G's in order to graduate to get your credit. And so this kind of leads to a lot of problems with scheduling and the lack of elective classes. And I would have to say there is a major lack of AP classes at Mount Diablo High School. Me and Josh just said we both took AP World because it was literally one of the only AP classes that was available during our sophomore year.
Mm-hmm. And you should be available as many AP classes.
Yeah, it should have been AP, English,
AP, World History.
Yeah, AP World History.
If you wanted to go AP, can you do
Spanish? AP Spanish.
You could do AP Spanish.
That's another one. Language is a big one that I had a problem with.
Yeah. I have a whole story with my language. But yeah, there should be more AP classes. There should be more opportunities for AP advanced placement classes. Because like even my senior year, I wanted to take an AP psychology class.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Same.
brand new class, but I can't because it was the period was being offered. I couldn't because I was taking an art class.
What period was it?
I think it's 2nd period.
Yeah.
Yeah, it interferes with my schedule, and that happens a lot with a bunch of students from Mount Diablo High School. You can't take electives or AP classes because it interferes with your academic schedule. Yeah. I mean, I took one AP class my junior year, the AP 2D design class. We only had 3 students in there.
Wow.
Well, only 3 of us did the test.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 4. Only 4 of us did the AP test.
So there was only 4 students in that class.
There was 6. There was 6, but 4 did the test.
Wow.
Yeah.
The other 2 didn't want to do the test?
They just last minute, they just couldn't do the test.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the thing with AP 2D and design is that the test is not like writing or anything. Mm-hmm. It's a whole portfolio of artwork.
Of everything you've done.
Well, you have to do 15 pieces of art.
Mm-hmm.
15 pieces of art to put in the portfolio.
And that can be any kind of art? Like, can it be like sculpture?
Well, it had to stick with your essential question.
Okay.
Basically, that's the question you ask, how you're going to design your work.
Mm-hmm.
So like what your work revolves around.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was about culture, and my identity. So all my artwork had to be about that idea.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to make it early in the year, and then you have to stick with it through the whole year. It's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. That's the thing. That was the thing with my art. That's the thing I had to investigate, my own identity. That was the test, the AP test. I passed it with a 5. And
with a 5?
With a 5. Yeah. The highest score you can get.
Oof.
And I got featured in College Board's exhibit for artwork. Only 51 kids out of 63,000 got in there.
63,000?
Yeah.
That's like what, 0.08%?
That's 0.08%. I'm glad you know that. Just mathematically, you did that in your head.
Like we said at the start of the podcast, we're geniuses.
We're very smart people. Yeah, that is 0.08%.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. And also, I mean, the things that Mount Diablo High School offers, you have to go out and get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, a lot of things in life you have to go do that, but at Mount you have to specifically reach out to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a full paid scholarship to the Academy of Art University in San Francisco by being an art student with my portfolio.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that DSA offered me, the opportunity to expand my art portfolio in order to get a full paid scholarship to an art school. You know, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing about academies is that if you want to be focused on art, then, or even medical, then MBTA or DSA is like the perfect route because you're learning about specific things that you need to learn to the field that you want to get.
Yep.
And maybe you can get a scholarship from it, like what you got.
What I got, yeah. Me and Elena, who's also another DSA senior, got that scholarship as well.
Yeah.
So 2 DSA students got a full paid
Out of the whole
scholarship
district.
out of the entire school district, which is, I think, around 50 people applied to that. That's 50 competitive people, and only 2 got chosen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that just shows that, like, how good the academies can be.
Yeah.
Especially with the art program here at Mount.
Our
It's very,
program's
very good.
We couldn't take a lot of AP classes because there was not a lot offered. You know, like I said, there was a lot of interference with academy classes and academy electives that it didn't leave a lot of space in everyone's schedule to take just another elective or, you know, to do any of that. So there's things in academies where you can get internships.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Because internships means experience in the industry that you want to go in. You know, a good part about the academies, or kind of a challenging part, is that you have to know what you want to do in advance. You know, for me, it was pretty simple. I wanted to be in the art field. I wanted to be in an art career, all of that. DSA really helped me because I focused on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And that's what led me to be so determined to get that full paid scholarship to Academy of Art.
Yeah.
And before times when there was no quarantine with COVID, when we would do in-person school, DSA actually offered internships for students.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually part of our grade to get an internship somewhere.
In order to pass the class, you actually have to do an internship.
Yeah.
And that's like that with I think all the academies.
I think all of the academies. I know for MBTA specifically, you can get an internship at John Muir, which is a hospital right across the street from our school.
Yeah, which is pretty cool because if you're looking into the medical field, then that's a perfect opportunity to get
really perfect
and get into this, even the club or program, I think, called HOSA.
Yeah, HOSA. And
you do like a bunch of trips to like, I don't know what they do.
We're totally not qualified to talk about MBT.
We're still supporting as a lifestyle that you can use.
Right.
After high school.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool what they do over there.
Yeah. The academy system works great in that future to offer internships, you know, get your foot in the door of how it feels like to actually be in the career that you want to go into.
Right.
You know, and you have that option, you have that experience before you graduate, you know, and then if you decide to go to college or not go to college, you still have that experience on hand.
Oh yeah.
Which is good.
I mean that's even the cool things with even the programs, like the one that Jacob and I are in called Junior ROTC, where we're able to get a lot of experience, even with like leadership opportunities or like learning how to, I guess, talk in front of people, because we do a lot of presentations as well. And we also learn about the military, which is also
is that cool. What JROTC is?
No. It's,
so what is JROTC? What does
that is the most that's the big misconception with JROTC, is that we're trying to recruit people to be in the military.
So what is JROTC? What does it stand for?
So JROTC stands for Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. And what that is just, we're just trying to teach young people to be better citizens. That is our mission. It's our mission statement, and we're just here to make you a well-rounded person.
Right.
And I say we because it is a cadet-led program, which means that the students actually lead the program. Yeah. The instructors are there to just watch us.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, or Jacob and I said earlier, that he was in the first command of the JRC over here, and I'm the second in command. It's because there's a rank structure as well, and that's why I said you get leadership opportunities, because like Jacob and I, we lead people. Like for myself, I have my own team of staff members that we need to do meetings every single week. I had to make sure that they're doing their work, that they're doing good, and that gives me leadership experience, and it's really good, and it's a very good opportunity to be in because you learn a lot.
And if one of the biggest things you learn is if no one's gonna step up, you have to. That's just the foundation of being a leader.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's really good to be in, and that's where the academies kind of suck, is that a lot of students are not able to
take JROTC
take
class.
JROTC, or
Because
even
JROTC is not an academy.
It's a program. It's an elective.
Yeah, basically.
elective.
You know, it's academy. You pick out of the 5 academies: DSA, MBTA, Acme, IHTA, or I think you're placed into world depending on how you speak.
If
you're an immigrant,
if you're an immigrant and you're not a English native speaker, you're placed into World Academy.
A big thing to note though is that you cannot choose to. You can't choose to be in no academy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's a big thing
can't
to mention.
So it's either you're basically in either one of the 5 academies, or 4 if you're an English speaker.
Yes. Yeah. So that's just a massive problem, because like we've said before, the electives that you have to take in an academy, it fills up a spot.
Yeah.
Like we've said before. So you can't choose no academy, so that it's like a weird way of explaining it. But
technically we have like 2 elective spots, but with an academy,
it fills up a spot.
Yeah.
You can't choose no academy, which means it's just a permanent filled up spot of an elective.
Yeah.
Which an elective is something that you're supposed to elect.
Basically.
That's in the actual name. You're supposed to elect your elective, but when you're placed in an academy, you're not electing anything.
Yeah.
You can only elect 1 class.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love DSA and I love it, but that's just a problem with all academies. Like in just Mount Diablo High School.
Why don't you turn on Do Not Disturb? Josh just threw his Apple Watch because it made a noise. Just turn.
I forgot I can mute it.
just mute your
Apple Watch.
Just mute your Apple Watch.
Oh, I ring it. My bad.
At our school, at Mount Diablo High School, you have 2 elective spots, but with the academy system, you basically only have 1. And if you have to take like a language class or PE, then that fills in your elective spot. You don't take an elective. And the thing is, you're not excused from not taking elective classes for your A through G. You still have to take it. So you have to find some time to make up the elective credit that you did not get from your academy classes in order to graduate.
DVC.
You can go the DVC route.
That's what I had to do, is go to DVC to do language classes, and also RDM. I forgot.
Yeah. So basically, you have some options. So this is why it is so complicated, the schedule at Mount Diablo High School. The enrollment in classes, because you're conflicted either way with the academy system. The academy system is great, but with the classes thing and having enough credit for every section of the A through G's, you have to make it up somehow.
Right.
So here are some options to make up credit that you can't get during the school year because you don't have, a place to fill it in your schedule. You can take DVC classes as a high school student, which is still like you're taking a college course, a full-on college course, and you're adding it to your high school credit. You can do that in the summer. You can take it basically any time during the school year as well.
Right.
Which is a lot of work. Or you can take 0 period or 7 period if they offer. So like me and Jake, we did 0 period PE for our sophomore year because we couldn't, you have to take 2 years of PE And we can't put PE in our schedule because my sophomore year, I was taking AP World and a pre-honors English class.
And also, we're
taking a college course.
Another college course, not to make up credits, but just as volunteering.
No, Jake.
Not volunteering
Jake.
to ourselves to go into the program. Go ahead.
We enrolled in a college course
Yeah,
about
that's what
the introduction to digital design.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. It was a college course taught by our high school teacher who was also a professor at DVC, Diablo Valley Community College, which is why he was able to teach a college course to us.
Mm-hmm. So
that plays some part to the opportunities because even with our academy, we can get college credits.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest. Like even the freshman year class, if you pass it, you get college credits.
Yeah,
because it was actually a college
course,
and
they called it articulated credit because it was articulated to be a high school course.
Yeah,
even though it was college material.
Yeah, it was super easy.
It was easy.
Super easy
for me and Jake. It was easy because we
had
prior knowledge in just like digital design. To be honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, going back to our sophomore year, it was really stressful because we were running 8 periods a day.
We had 8
You guys are insane.
Wait, we had 8 periods? No, we had
it was
7.
8.
No, it was 8.
Oh, we had
0
8.
period. We had the 0 period. We had our 6 periods, and then we had an extra class at the end of the day or every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. I mean,
but we did homework.
Yeah,
there was
the
a
thing
lot
with
of
college
homework.
classes. The thing with college classes is that you do the lecture basically, which is going to the class, or for art class you do studio time. So you go in to do the class in the studio, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you have offline or stuff you do when you're at home, and that is part of the class. Me and Jake had 8 periods our sophomore year.
Yeah,
that was stressful a lot. Our pre-honors class was basically an honors class.
He doesn't like.
It was basically an AP.
It was basically an AP class, and it was really difficult.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't have a 4.0.
Yeah. The pre-honors class that we took, pre-honors English class, was basically an AP class. And I had AP World that year too. And I was taking the college course of Introduction to Digital Design or Graphic Design and 0 period PE. So that was a lot of work.
How'd you guys even do that?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how you did it because you had 2 AP classes.
I had 2 AP classes.
2 AP classes?
Well, okay, pre-honors.
Oh, okay.
Basically an AP class. That was a hardest
class ever. And then we took that college course of design, which I really enjoyed, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that was fun.
It added a lot to my.
On it. That was stressful.
It was stressful, but it was fun. I liked the critiques.
I didn't take it.
I mean, you don't need to. That's the thing.
I wanted to at first.
You wanted to, but the instructor kept saying, "No, you're not gonna. you can't do it."
I was struggling as a sophomore.
Yeah, Josh really did struggle as a sophomore, but we're here now. We're good. So, opportunities like academic opportunities. What does JRTC have to offer?
All right, so basically, what the program also offers is a lot of volunteering, and we even did that for this year. We did a food/toy drive that we had to create and have people donate and stuff like that. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, and this year we're actually giving out scholarships to lucky seniors.
Yes, we are.
What's
like
that
$1,000, just to help like financially. It's for like the VFW, Veteran of Foreign Wars. Our instructor contacted them to see if they can give scholarships to some seniors.
Yeah, that's cool.
Who need them? Yeah.
So I think we're giving 2 or 3 scholarships.
Yeah. So that's just another example of like we're not all about the military.
Yeah.
We're helping you get into college.
Yeah, exactly. And there's even different opportunities than the veterans. What was the name again?
The VFW?
VFW. And you can even receive ROTC scholarships, which is like super good because they could be a 2-year, 3-year, or 4-year scholarship and be a full ride. And that could be through junior ROTC.
So is that for any college, any university, or is that specific in the military?
It
the
could
ROTC scholarship.
So the ROTC scholarship it's going to come from the college itself. So it could be from UCLA and they can
Okay.
give you an ROTC scholarship,
Right.
or it can be from UC Berkeley and they
Mhm.
can give you an ROTC scholarship.
That's for 4 years, or it could be for 4 years.
It could be for 4 years.
like a
yeah.
full ride.
Full ride, yeah.
Oh, really?
Through
I mean, it could be that much,
could
but
be.
not this year. We're not giving it.
Okay.
I don't think.
yeah.
It's a possibility.
It is a
Yeah.
possibility, and I'm pretty sure there has been in the past in our program where students have gone on ROTC scholarships
Yeah.
and they can get a full ride, and it's amazing. But I mean, like even though we said earlier, it's not a program for the military.
Yeah.
You still
Not just for the military.
not just for the military. You can even the instructors there, since they're retirees from the military, if you're into that, you can even they will give you a lot of advice. They will give you a lot of tips and stuff like that, and then they're trying to make sure that you're set on your enlistment, because that's what Jacob and I did, because we wanted to enlist into the military. That's part of the reason why we wanted that junior ROTC experience.
Yeah.
Especially if you have taken 3 or 4 years of junior ROTC,
Yeah.
you get an automatic rank up.
Yeah.
So that means
Instant.
more pay.
Yeah.
And that's a commitment, by the way,
Yeah.
everyone. That's a commitment, being in JRTC for 4 years. Having that as an elective with the conflicting schedule due to the academy system, it's a commitment.
Yeah.
It's a great accomplishment as well. Being in there for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, especially with Jacob.
Jacob has been in JRTC for 4 years.
Yeah. It's a lot of hard work. I'm glad I did it. I don't have too much of a regret now that I did before of taking like something like AP classes. Because it was super hard. I had to take like language classes over the summer because I couldn't take it at Mount Diablo High School.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Because you had JRTC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it was I know it was hard for you, especially with like the administration not backing you.
Yeah.
With whatever stuff that you had to go through just to take 4 years, which is insane because no one has taken 4 years at our program.
For a while, right?
No, we had some seniors
yeah,
graduated last year who
Yeah.
were Let 4s, which means the year you've been in JRTC. So, yeah, we had a few, but this is the only year that we only have one senior who's taken 4 years,
Which is you.
which is me.
Right.
Yeah. And also, there was this part, I think last year, where you guys went to a district board meeting
Oh.
and you saved.
Yeah, so
you-
they're saying that they funded too much money to JRTC. However, we're government funded, so you can't say that because, we make our own money and the government funds us,
Right.
like the U.S. Army does. And
For them,
we were just trying to discuss that, but we had to really explain what JRTC is,
Mhm.
and how it helps so many young people to be a better person.
Yeah.
right.
And a leader.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was really frustrating because the school board, they were trying to cut a lot of the programs and like a lot of classes and stuff like that.
So
And
were they
that-
trying to cut JRTC like completely?
Yeah.
Like
So-
terminate the program?
So they were trying to terminate Olympics JRTC program and our program, and
Okay.
they ended up getting rid of Olympics JRTC program,
yeah.
Right.
but not ours.
But not yours.
Because this one's a bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys went to the board meeting, like with the board there.
Yeah.
You
Board
spoke
members.
with the board members. You spoke in front of an audience too.
Yeah.
You basically had to explain why JRTC is a great program,
Yeah.
why it should be, why it should remain at Mount Diablo High School, and why it was great for you guys in particular.
Right. Yeah. It was frustrating because, yeah, like I said earlier, they were trying to cut down the program, and about Nick was saying that we had to go explain it to them like, hey, if you're trying to cut down that program, that's a really bad idea because
Yeah.
Mount needs it. I really believe that Mount Diablo needs junior ROTC because without it, I mean, there's not much to me in my mind. Then there's not much improvement that the school can do.
Yeah. Also, what's this thing with cutting programs and cutting classes at Mount Diablo High School? The thing is, we talked about earlier, there's not a lot of AP classes. We didn't talk about how there's barely any honors classes.
Oh yeah.
And we also talked about how the academic schedule, the academies mess up with your schedule, and they're over here cutting classes. They're cutting classes that we don't even have. We barely have any. And they wanted to cut JROTC. They wanted to cut funding for the art program at Mount Diablo High School, which didn't end up happening. They want to cut funding at our school, which is already an underfunded school.
Yep.
And that just leaves with a lot less opportunities, academically and, personally for any student. It's hard. You have to combat all of these. You have to go around them. You have to go to community college. You have to take 0 PE, 0 period classes.
Yeah, a lot of students take A periods because they simply don't have enough electives, and that's because of the funding.
Yeah.
And that places a lot on a student's plate.
Yeah. Oh, clubs. Okay. Are you
Right.
done talking about JRTC?
Yeah, Josh, are you done?
Are you done?
Yeah,
Are we
sorry.
done?
I went on a ramble.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Okay.
It's a podcast.
So, Josh, you mentioned that you can get a lot of volunteer experience
Oh yeah.
with JRTC. And I would also like to say that there are some clubs at Mount Diablo High School that offers volunteer experience,
Yeah.
which is great for any high school student. You can put it on your college resume or college applications. It just looks good in general, being able to, do some volunteer service. And I've been part of a club that does specifically that. It's called Key Club, and we don't make keys. But
True.
yeah, it's true. Key Club is a really big international organization, and it's a club at a lot of high schools, like every single high school over here, at least in the Bay Area, has the Key Club. It's a really big organization, really big club, and it specializes in being able to have opportunities to do volunteer service. It's really great. You can be an officer for it, and I was an officer for 2 years. I was the editor and webmaster.
So how long were you in?
So I was in Key Club for 2 years. I was technically in there for 3 years, but I paid my membership my freshman year, but I was so socially awkward that I couldn't. Being in Key Club, you need to be social, basically. You're going to events, you're interacting with other people in order to, help set up or volunteer or whatever. But like freshman year, I wasn't used to that. So I paid for my membership, but I never went to any meetings. I never went to any volunteer service that year. But I got asked to be an officer my sophomore year, going into my junior year. And then since I was really good at being the officer, I ran again, and I was an officer from my junior year to my senior year. So that's been a lot of experience for not just doing volunteer work, but also being able to work as a group and be leaders with other students that are part of the club, and being able to make decisions that impacts everyone, and plan out events and all the logistics for that. It's a really good experience. If you're going to college or university, you should get into clubs because they also offer a lot of experience, depending on what it is. And it's also good to have that in high school. So
I actually don't know. I just realized I don't know much about Key Club.
yeah,
That's cool.
you should go check out Key Club at your high school. If you're listening to this, you're a student at Mount Diablo High School, you should check out Key Club. Jake just did
It's a
a
plug.
plugging into the wall motion.
Also, check out JRTC
Check out JRTC
and Key Club.
and Key Club. We're on Instagram, Mount Diablo Key Club. JRTC's on Instagram. What's the handle?
MDHS JRTC.
JRTC. Check them out on Instagram. If you're in person in school, go check them out. Come to a club meeting. You don't need to have membership to be in a club meeting. If you're how does it work for JRTC? How do you get into JRTC?
You have to actually be in the program. So you have to just have it one of your electives that you want. Or you could just switch one of your other electives out and then.
But if someone is interested, how do you get them to kind of experience what JRTC is?
Be in the class. You just gotta full force into
kind
it,
of assert
actually.
yourself in the
Yeah, so
environment.
once you come into the class, you're going to introduce yourself, and then you're instantly a part of that family. That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's good. So again, check out JRTC at Mount Diablo High School. Check out Mount Diablo High School Key Club as well. They're both great programs. JRTC is not a club, but you can check out
It's
Key
a
Club.
program, yeah.
It's a program. Okay, I think it's time for a break, actually.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and have a break. We're going to continue moving forward after this. Catch us a little after this break.
Peace.
Thank you.
The career in the art field is challenging, competitive, and discouraging at times. You may be lost and don't know how to get there. That's why I'm here to tell you about the Digital Safari Academy, also known as the DSA, a 4-year academic career preparation program at Mount Diablo High School. With pathways in computer science and multimedia arts, you can bring out your inner creative self through collaboration, media-driven projects, and internships. Trust my word too. As a 4-year student in this program, I've been granted many opportunities in education and my career that will help me after high school. There's also another aspect of the DSA that I really enjoy too, and it should be something to consider wherever you go for education. It's the community. You get to know everyone in the DSA, or at least your career pathway, all throughout high school. You will have the same classes most of the time and will group together for capstone projects every year. That being said, your closest friends could be those in DSA. And you will get many opportunities to get to know everyone in your class. If you ask me, you can't ask for a better structure during high school. You have the opportunity to claim this amazing offer to further your intellect in the arts and live in a community of other artists. All you need to do is sign up for the Digital Safari Academy once you enter Mount Diablo High School. You can check out more information at digitalsafari.org or reach out to the Academy heads, Catalina Gallo, gallok@mdusd.org, and Josie Kirkland, kirklandj@mdusd.org. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for the DSA today and you won't regret it. Hey, we're back from our ad break.
Yeah. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to our sponsors for supporting the show. As
Yeah.
always. What?
Who's sponsoring?
Academies.
I mean, yeah.
Whoa, DSA is the best academy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think honestly, DSA is the best academy.
Honestly, DSA,
DSA is the best.
the Digital Safari Academy, is the best academy at Mount Diablo High School.
Yeah.
A
They have the best.
It's a little bit biased here, but
little
Yeah.
biased.
Because all of us are DSA
All of us are
students.
DSA students. Yeah, it might be a little biased, but
But we have the highest graduation rates.
little.
is that true?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
We have the highest graduation rates
Where's that statistic?
Yeah, where's that from?
on the district.
Really?
What are you talking about? You on the district?
Yeah.
Really? It's just on top of the
It's
district.
on top of the district.
Found in the information is on the district
What do you mean in the district?
website stuff.
On the website?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Jamie,
I heard that
pull
from
that
this guy.
Oh, okay.
So a DSA teacher said we had the highest graduation.
Actually, I don't know.
I believe Miss Kyle if she says it.
It was like last year, so
Okay, well, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Yeah, DSA is the best academy. You know why DSA is the best academy?
Okay, Nick, why is the DSA Academy the best?
We have the best teachers. We have the best field trips. We just have the best opportunities. Do you guys remember any of the field trips that we went on as DSA?
Oakland Zoo?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
my favorite. Yeah, we did do that.
We went to the Oakland Zoo.
Oakland Museum? What was it called?
You're right. It wasn't the zoo.
We've
no,
never
sorry.
been to a zoo. It's a museum.
It's because there
museum.
was like animals, like fossils there.
It was
That's why
weird.
Yeah. It was actually. I've been there. We've been there for elementary school, but
Yeah, we went elementary school, that exact same museum.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't remember like most of it, when we went in elementary school, me and
Yeah.
Josh. But it was actually quite fun going
Yeah.
as a DSA student.
Did we go on
Yeah.
a field trip for RDM? Or was that just...
We went to San Francisco.
yeah, what was that for?
We went to California College of the Arts. We did a tour because
Oh, I was there too. Yeah,
wait, how did you?
Yeah,
go?
you were there.
I was.
Wait, you're right.
No, because it was just a DSA thing. It was not for our.
But why there were so
But
little
RDM.
people?
I don't know.
There was a little people. There was only like
Yeah. How do you remember so clearly? I forgot. I didn't even know you went. So we had some good field trips as DSA students.
Yeah.
You know, we did tours of our art colleges. We went to museums.
My favorite too. My favorite too was a tour of the art college, and also UC Davis.
UC Davis was
UC
fun.
That
That was
was
really
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like I was I was like home there for some reason.
Dude,
Yeah.
we got on a we became sponsors of Cactus Water.
Cactus water.
Oh my! I remember that.
Remember that? Yeah, we went into the store on campus, and I was like, we should try the Cactus Water because
They had a booth.
there was a booth in front of the store
Yeah.
at UC Davis, and they were selling Cactus Water. So we went inside, we bought Cactus Water, all of us.
All of us.
There was like what, 5? There was 4 of us that bought
No,
it, right?
5. Because it was
was
myself, Nick, Jacob,
Juan.
Jose.
Wait, Jose.
I'm pretty sure Jose.
I thought it was just 4 of us.
I remember one
us-
being there.
Us
me
and
too.
Juan. We went in there. We bought Cactus Water. We came back out. We showed the Cactus Water people that were the booth that was in front of the store,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, you want to post for an Instagram post?" We ended up on the Cactus Water Instagram.
Yeah. They since deleted the picture.
Yeah, they deleted the picture, but you know that was a fun thing.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was
to think
great.
About.
That was great.
We also went to San Francisco like twice. No, I went twice. We went to the botanical garden, I think, in San Francisco. And then-
Oh yeah, we did.
yeah, and then we went to.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
The what garden?
So remember,
Oh, not the botanical garden.
there was a garden. Remember that one tree that I said like it was like a hanging tree and there was like a bunch of leaves.
Oh,
And we
the
had to
willow
take
tree?
pictures. The willow tree. and then-
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not the botanical garden. It was some kind of garden.
Okay.
And then we went to the middle, you know, between the science museum and the actual art museum.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a friend. His name was Jason. And
Oh.
so in San Francisco, there's this park. It's called Golden Gate Park. And we were like, this park is really long. You know, it spans from like the half of San Francisco all the way to the ocean on the west. And so our friend Jason, he was like, I want to run to the ocean. The ocean was like 2 miles away. And he actually did it, you know.
And he told the teachers too.
And he asked the
Yeah.
teachers, hey, well, he asked this guy, oh, can I go run to the ocean? And she was like, yeah, sure. Thinking he wasn't actually going to do it.
Right.
And then he did it. He came back like 30 minutes later,
It was just drenched in sweat.
drenched in sweat. He had a Snapchat memory of like being at the ocean.
Yeah, he said I made it. Or it said we made it. It said we made it as a
Yeah.
caption.
And I was like, you're crazy. Like he literally ran like 4 miles in like 30 minutes or something.
Yeah. So like he took the video and then ran straight
Yeah.
back because he had to be on time
He like,
and he made it.
oh yeah, because we were on a lunch break.
Yeah, we were on
He had
the
to be
lunch
on
break.
time. And so he ran, he took a quick video, ran back, made it on time we had to get back on the bus to go back home.
Yeah, that was a go-to move by Jason.
Yep.
Shout out to Jason.
Never forget.
You guys
9/11.
remember Road Savvy?
Oh yeah. So on top of field trips, you know, we had fun field trips as DSA students. You know, great field trips. But we also have what?
It's a terrifying topic.
Okay, it doesn't have to be world savvy in general. Let me
No,
speak.
no,
Let
no.
me
But
speak.
you're like we've had some great field trips.
But we also, so in DSA, you have to do an end of the year project every year.
Yeah.
Every year that you're a DSA student.
Yep.
So that's from freshman all the way to senior year. The plans kind of shifted a little bit since we had to go into quarantine. But our freshman year, we did the Biome project. You had to make an animal in its own habitat. You had to do all of the art and design for it.
And
then
you have
do
to like give it the best traits.
basically, and you had to like do a competition like against other people's creations
Yeah.
of this animal
Yeah.
in the environment. It's all right. I mean,
It definitely wasn't the best senior or like the end of the year project.
No, because the thing with the competition is that if your animal looks cool, then you're gonna win.
yeah.
Yeah, Miss Ennis said she thought mine was gonna win. Because I had like an ostrich or something. I had like everything. Like if there's a flood or something,
Yeah.
or if there's a drought, or if there's a
I remember the key thing about it. You had to basically design an animal that would survive the given environment that was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you like had to design a perfect animal, perfect species. I think you had to have one caveat though, right?
Well, no,
No?
you didn't ever specify the caveat.
Okay.
I thought they did.
No. I don't remember doing that.
I remember like, the questions would be like, would it survive this even though it has this? And then you'd have to answer like, no, because I didn't design it to be,
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so that was Biome Project. So the topic that we're about to talk about right now is very sensitive. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
So we had a new project. Is it new, right?
It was new.
Brand new to us. We were the guinea pigs for it. It was the beta project for sophomores in DSA.
Yeah.
This project was called
Beta
World
release.
Savvy.
Where do we begin?
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence. Yep.
So, World Savvy. Who wants to introduce what World Savvy is?
What is even World Savvy?
Yeah, what is World Savvy? I forgot.
I forgot too.
I realized
World Savvy was
Something with the world.
it was you have to solve a problem. In the world.
Right.
You had to solve a problem.
you
in the
said
world.
had to solve like a big problem in the world.
Yeah. I think we were in a group. We were in a group, and what problem
Who?
we were?
It was
us.
just me, you,
Oh,
No, it wasn't me.
and
Oh,
then
you're right.
Brian,
It was
Sean and
was-
Brian were
Brian and Sean.
Sean, Brian, you and me.
Me and Jake were in a group. We had to solve the problem of California wildfires, right?
Oh yeah.
And so our solution was making a website, a whole website. Like you can actually interact with this website with information in order to get awareness for how to actually like prevent wildfires
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah. My group's idea was to create a cartoon for kids to educate kids about wildfires.
Oh, we had like the same topic.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We did.
No, we did not do wildfires.
What did we do?
We did droughts.
Oh, you're right. We did droughts.
We did droughts.
Okay. I was like, where did this thing with wildfires come out? Yeah. So we did a thing with how raising awareness about droughts. Was it in California specifically?
Yes, it was
Okay.
because we were originally gonna do food,
Uh-huh.
like food production at
food
like markets and
insecurity.
stuff. Food insecurity.
Yeah.
That was it. That was our original topic that we're gonna
We
talk
just
about.
couldn't do it.
It was too hard.
Yeah.
So we went over to water.
Yep.
Drought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's starting to.
Yeah. We just pushed this in the back of our memories.
Yeah.
So that's all good. It's a nice idea. It's, to do something. It's kind of like something how I want to use my career, like make awareness, if
Yeah. I was
could-
super excited for the idea.
yeah, it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Like as art students designing a concept. For us, it was website. For you, it was an actual animated like cartoon.
Yeah. I was going to use like an Adobe. I was using an
I
Adobe
remember
software.
You were using Adobe software to facial track using the webcam
Yeah.
to make like the model move.
Yes.
Wow.
That was cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But okay, so how did it turn out?
Josh puts an
Just-
Altoid in
Josh
his
put
mouth.
an Altoid on the middle of his tongue.
I had to do screenshots of the characters. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Hey,
It was a really good idea though.
yeah, it's
I was pretty proud of the idea.
So
A for effort.
Thank you.
A for effort. Me and Jake, we got an award because you actually had to. It was like a competition basically. So the thing with World Savvy is that you'd do this project for several weeks. You'd make your product or whatever you were going to use to kind of show what your topic was, how you're going to solve it. And then you would go to Mills College in Oakland, which is now defunct, actually, I think. You know that?
Really?
Mills College doesn't exist anymore.
What?
It stopped as an institution.
I did not know that.
If it's not, then I'll just cut it out. But I think I read it in a news article that it's not school anymore.
Wow.
Hello, this is Nick from the future. I'm just coming in here and fact checking what I said previously. Mills College did not actually close yet. They did announce that the class of 2023 would be the last class that would graduate. For a school that's been around for 169 years, student, alumni, and faculty are upset, reasonably, but there's not much you can do given the current financial status of the entire nation. Now, back to the show.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we would go to Mills College in Oakland, and we would basically present in front of a lot of
panel
judges who were adults, you know, so they can kind of give their own input on how our project was.
Yeah, and mind you, the teachers were like hyping this up, and we had this mind this mind are like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be presenting in like in a
it's like
really
a
hard,
super big thing.
Yeah, it was gonna be a super big thing. There's gonna be like super hard judges.
They were saying that there was gonna be other schools there.
Yeah,
you know, and that was gonna be like the competition part.
Right.
Yeah,
that was the part they were hyping us up for, and we were all so stressed. You know, trying to get everything done. You know, in order, memorizing things. I did not trust Brian to give his presentation because he just couldn't memorize it. You know, so that's World Savvy.
Yeah,
but we're not done yet. So you know why this is such a touchy topic? Well, you know how I said that we were gonna present with other schools. You know how we said this is gonna be a big thing. So we're saying the teachers are hyping this up for us. We're gonna have this big competition with our products of how to solve things and how we're supposed to compete with other schools, like actual competition with design. We get to Mills College in Oakland on the day that we're supposed to all go to our groups with presentations with the judges.
And we're wearing nice, flashy suits.
Yeah, we're wearing nice clothes.
Like presentation for
a panel of judges.
Basically, if we were to go on Shark Tank, that's what
Shark Tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we're pitching our product basically.
Yeah.
So we're super preppy. You know, we're sophomores in high school. We get there, and guess who we're competing against?
I'm banging my head right now.
I kid you not. The competition of the other schools, literally kids in middle school. There was no other high school there.
We were the oldest.
There was one high school. Were they freshmen?
No, I don't think there was another high school there.
I didn't see another high school.
I'm pretty sure there was.
Yeah, I don't think another high school could be.
Yeah.
And we were sitting.
Oh no, you're right.
We were
They were eighth graders.
Yeah. We were the only high school, and we were 10th grade. We were sophomores.
Imagine that with a bunch of kids, or not kids, teenagers wearing suits and very, very nice clothing with a bunch of kids.
And we're super serious with our presentation. We're like taking this thing seriously. We get there. There's just a bunch of middle schoolers who we're competing against. The hype let us down.
I was so disappointed.
We were all disappointed.
So disappointed.
We're like so older than all of these kids.
Yeah.
And that's when like the realization hit us, like this is not as serious as the teachers were making it.
Yeah. All these weeks. Go on.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure even the teachers didn't even know.
Yeah. Like our teachers that were prepping us for this project didn't know.
Yeah.
I think we asked them and they said they didn't know either. So that was World Savvy. We competed a bunch of middle school and elementary school with serious products about serious topics in life that affect a lot of people, and it let us down.
Yeah. And we got third place.
Also, me and Jake got third place in like a certain topic.
Well, Kim got
a first place.
A fellow student in our grade got an award.
Peer,
Yeah, that was World Savvy. Anyway, so we can't talk about the project for our junior year because we didn't have one because of COVID-19 and quarantine. Josh already mentioned that it was Legacy or something like that.
Yeah, they were gonna do a new project instead of doing Legacy, but from the previous years, it was this thing called Legacy, where you would create this product that would help kids in Africa. So you'd be chosen a country.
You were giving a country.
You were
right?
given a country,
Yeah.
yeah. And you were able to create something. For my sister, she was in DSA as well. She created a product where it was like a bicycle for kids,
Mhm.
and that's all I know. But
Right.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah. This is nice. These are nice projects from DSA. Like, you have to give whoever makes them credit.
Yeah, from junior and above.
When you're a DSA senior, you actually have two projects. One of them is group project, and one of them is individual project.
Yeah.
So the first one, which happens in the first semester, is called innovation, or was innovation. I think it's going to be changed.
Really?
I think so. I think that's what Ms. Guile was saying.
Oh, I was so excited to do that project.
I wasn't too excited, but
I was really
So
excited.
I mean, I knew that I had a head start of everyone, but that's why I wasn't excited, because I already knew it was coming.
You know, I was really
Mhm.
excited because I was already thinking about being a graphic designer, you know, and I was like, well, this is my opportunity to make like 3D models, make advertising, you know, make a lot of assets for our presentation.
And for me, like, I want to go into business, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
it's-
a perfect opportunity
Yeah.
to like learn how to talk to people. Sorry, Jacob.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I was so excited for like the business aspect.
Yeah. And like when you know how we said this is like the World Savvy would be like Shark Tank. This innovation project is literally Shark Tank.
Yeah, it's
Yes, it
literally
Like you
Shark
have
Tank.
you have real people who have entrepreneur experience.
Yeah.
And you would be basically pitching them like a fake product. I mean, it's not, you're presenting them as it's real, but you know, it's not
It's
going to go
fake.
anywhere because it's fake.
And-
It's just
but
for the project.
Some of these products, or even the students, also do get hired or even bought, which is the cool thing part of innovation. And we were actually part of it in junior year.
Yeah.
Or we were helping out.
We were helping out.
Yeah, I was a TA for Ms. Gaio, so I was helping him create the posters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Josh and Jake, we got asked to photograph. So what's innovation?
So innovation is you basically create a product, and then you make a business out of it
Right.
to sell it off to
Yeah.
an entrepreneur.
It's like a, you know, kind of like a real life thing. You're you know, you kind of, a lot of the products start from there's a problem and you need to solve the problem, and your specific product will solve this problem.
And you kind of create your own fake company around
Mhm.
it and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. So that's what innovation is. And it was very fun because you would have innovation fair, which is like you would actually have you DSA would rent this part out of a hotel that's
Crown Plaza.
in the same city as our high school.
Yeah.
And they would rent out like this big room where the innovation fair, everyone who made like products and businesses with their groups would set up a little booth, you know, with trifolds that have information on their business and their product, you know, and all of that. And you'd have a bunch of people, and even like just like random people that would come in and
Yeah.
see it, you know, and ask questions and all of that. And all the students would be prepared to answer any questions. So that's the cool thing about Innovation Fair.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like, people had to like kind of buy your company as well.
Yeah.
So like kind of like buying stocks,
Yeah.
and then they'll give you money, and it was kind of like a competition thing. And like
Basically.
whoever got like top 5, they would have to present their product.
Mhm.
And
So
if
then
you,
there would be an actual stage for present like the top 5 people who had the most buyers.
Yeah.
And then I guess they would all compete for like complete bought out or whatever,
yeah,
or the best product, best business.
best, yeah,
So that was good. Like they would actually have a whole audience for the top 5, and then a whole separate stage with microphones, a big screen to show your presentation and all of that.
and you can get money if you get first place
Yeah.
or first or third.
Exactly. So that's innovation. Innovation's really fun. We there's a separate part of innovation where they went to what is it? What do you call it? It wasn't the innovation fair. It was
Oh, so
Oh, you just showcase it, right?
the showcase,
the
right?
showcasing.
Yeah.
For just presentations.
Yeah,
Me,
you just
Josh,
showcased
and
it.
Jacob were all asked to be photographers of the presentation, the showcase.
Yeah.
And so we were all experiencing like innovation through our eyes as students who were going to do it a year later
Yeah.
as seniors. which we actually, spoiler alert, we did not do innovation because of COVID.
Yeah, I was really bummed out.
I was bummed out too.
I was pretty bummed out. That sucks.
You just said you didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I know. And I said I didn't say I didn't want to do it. I
Oh.
just said I didn't. I wasn't really excited for it.
I see.
I wouldn't really care if I
Yeah.
did it.
Well, so that's innovation. That's the group project for being a DSA senior. The last project for being a DSA senior is called Utopia. And since we're current seniors right now, we're actually doing that project virtually, since it is individual. And you basically have to make a whole paper, a big, 5 pages to 7 pages essay argument about why if a utopia can exist or if it can't exist. And you would use evidence from a lot of people's different texts and books and letters and basically everything to support your claim.
Yep.
So do you think a utopia exists? Can exist?
No. Never. Can never exist.
Why? So we'll see you next time on the philosophy podcast.
Yeah. I wanted to say stuff, but it's
I think we're getting
topic.
too long right here on the time. And I think it's time we wrap this up. We talk about, do these academies actually achieve what they do? I'll have everyone say something at least. And what they aren't good at.
Well, okay. So for me, academies, I think that it's good to have at least one, or let me rephrase that. I think academies are great, especially if you're into like a field of like, I don't know, medical or art, then especially our school, then that would be great to get into, because I know for you,
It worked out a lot for me.
amazingly.
Yeah.
You're going to UCLA with
I'm going to
scholarship.
UCLA with regents.
Perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked out perfectly for me.
Yeah.
The academy system.
Yeah. And that's the cool part of having an academy like the Digital Safari.
Yeah.
Or even with MBTA, having medical students go into the medical field, becoming nurses, doctors, etc.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to do. It's great opportunities for that. For the academies, I'm not too sure. But to me, it's not worth it to having Mount Diablo as an academy school, because it just cuts away from. To me, you're forcing students into like a career path that they don't want to take.
Yeah.
I love DSA, but I'm not going into the arts.
Yeah.
I want to go into business administration. I wanted to do political science. Those are my interests. That's what I want to do. I'm going to the military. That's why I'm in junior ROTC, an elective / program. And having an academy makes it even harder for me to do the stuff that I really want to do, which is JRTC
Yeah.
in high school, because I didn't do 4 years. I could have done it. It could have, but it would have been really, really hard. And it shouldn't be like that at all. So to me, I think keep MBTA, keep DSA. I'm not too sure about Word Academy, but the rest of the academies, they can go.
Well, hold on. You can't just exterminate. Okay. We also didn't, we exclusively talk about DSA, sponsored, but we exclusively talk about DSA and MBTA, but IHTA, International Hospitality
Academy.
something, it deals with food.
Yeah.
They make
Deals
food.
with- They're chefs.
They're chefs. Yeah, they train to become chefs. They train to make food, prepare it and all. Basically, like restaurant business, all of that, and they can get really good at it. Mount Diablo High School has a fully redesigned kitchen called Serendipity in the back of the school. That was like finished redesign in like 2019, I think, or 2020. And we have real chefs who teach that academy. Acme, you learning architecture, engineering, all that stuff might make you more competitive if you're going into trade school, to do those kind of things. If you want to be a carpenter, if you want to be an architectural designer or a woodworker, anything like that. Yeah, World Academy helps kids who don't speak English, and they give them exclusive classes, exclusive opportunities for, if there wasn't World Academy, a lot of kids would just be like non-English speaking kids would be placed into normal core classes, but they won't be able to understand a thing. That academy is exclusively designed. It helps them, learn in a school that they're not used to, the language that they're not used to. Yeah, I agree with Josh. There should be another option to not being forced into a career path. You can keep DSA, you can keep MBTA, you can keep HTA, all the academies, but you also should be granted the option to not be in an academy.
Yeah, I was about to say that, like, I wanted to restate my opinion because I realized when we were talking, it's like, oh wait, we should still keep the academies.
Yeah, I don't really disagree on anything you said. It's just, yeah, like you can't just get rid of academies. So
yeah, you're right.
But I think just like Nick said, there should be an option of choosing no academies because you should be able to choose your own electives.
Yeah.
That's end of story.
Because like we were saying, perfect story for me, being in Digital Safari, going to UCLA, doing a career in arts, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the career path for DSA. It lines up directly with what I want to do after high school. That's how I'm successful. That's how I will be successful. If I continue down this path, learning, getting internships during college, doing all that, getting experience in the industry. That's how I will be successful. That's how I want to be successful and have a successful career as a designer.
And yeah, that's what I want to say earlier. It's like, I should have said it should be just an option to choose an academy because I realized, wait, they're still important.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it works perfectly for me.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it might not work perfectly for them. They might, like for you, instance, there's no academy. There's no ROTC academy. It's an elective.
But or there's no business academy.
There's no business academy. There used to be a law academy, but you can't not be in an academy and then try and do what you want to do, but being kind of forced down a career path because you're in a certain academy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it actually, from what I know from my brother actually,
there used to be an option.
There used to be an option to not choose an academy.
And that's what one of my sisters did. She had a choice. And she was the last year to have that choice, that they weren't able to choose an academy, and she didn't choose no academy. So I think it should go back to that. But
so academies, at Mount Diablo High School, they offer great things. They come with great benefits, especially if what you want to do after high school lines up perfectly, or kind of lines up with what academy you're in. Like for me, for instance, it lines up perfectly. For some it might, not. And that's why there should be an option to be able to not be in an academy so that you can choose your electives. You have that extra spot, that extra period for another class that you might need credit to graduate.
Or a class that you want to take.
Or a class that you just want to take.
Exactly.
All the classes that I ever wanted to take, I couldn't because I'm in academy. I have academy-based electives.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with it, of having no option.
Yeah.
Because now I remember back when my sister used to go to school, there was a choir, there was a marching band, but that came away because they made it so that there was no options, or they didn't. You had to choose an academy. That's why there is no marching band for Mount anymore.
Yeah, because you couldn't get in that elective. No one has space in their schedule.
Yeah.
So, that's the problem with electives. I think they're great. I think we all think they're great, right?
Yeah.
It really just depends on who you are. It might not be for you. The change is we think that there should be a choice.
Yeah.
More choice.
Mm-hmm.
And might lead to a higher graduation rate, might lead to a greater retention rate, and better classes, better opportunities
And
for everyone.
yeah, in general, even more fun for a school.
Yeah.
Because schools should be fun.
Yeah.
But academies kind of take away that.
Mm-hmm. So in conclusion, the academies, they offer the greatest opportunities you can have after high school. The academies are amazing. And the question, how does it help you grow into an adult after high school? And, it could vary on many different students, but overall, the academies are great, but there should be that option at Mount Diablo High School to not choose an academy.
Yep.
So next we're actually gonna talk about College and Career Center at Mount Diablo High School, and we're gonna have a special interview with Mr. Brian Brown, the College and Career Center counselor, who's a really great person. I think you should hear what he has to say. We'll see you after the break.
See ya.
See ya. Want a break from the ads? If you tap the link in our description, you receive 30 seconds of vocal silence and uninterrupted Mount Classroom ambience. Yes, really. If you tap the link, you will receive 30 seconds of silence and DSA Classroom ambience. All right, we're back from our break. How are you guys?
Honestly, pretty tired.
I'm feeling great.
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Feeling tired. We're almost done here. Don't worry. So, back on the topic of Mount, we're going to have a special interview with Mr. Brown. He's going to talk about who he is, what he does, and we're going to ask him some questions that we handcrafted for ourselves. It's very long, so strap in, get some popcorn, get a drink. If you don't like the interview or you already know Mr. Brown, what he's going to say, just skip over it. I'll have the timestamps below. And we'll see you guys later.
All
See
right.
y'all.
Have fun.
So I'm Brian Brown. I'm the College and Career Advisor here at Mount Diablo High School. I work with all grades, all academies. So that's 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students across all of our academies since we're academy school. And I primarily work with students in terms of any of our assistance and guidance on standardized testing, college preparations, and career preparations. So everything to get them up to graduation and then beyond.
So as your role as counselor, how do you help and benefit all Mount students?
Well, so specifically, the College and Career Center, I like to say that the work we do is counseling adjacent. So I'm not a same type of counselor as your academic counselors, nor am I the same type of counselor as our mental, social, emotional counselors, the ones you find like maybe in the DCC. So I always say that we're counseling adjacent. So a lot of the responsibilities, the information we cover, the services, some overlap and some are related. So what that means is that I collaborate and communicate with your academic counselors, with your teachers, with the DCC, and together as a larger counseling department, I work with them to try to, one, get to know the students, your backgrounds, your interests, your ideas, establish goals and plans. And then through the various individuals, again, your teachers, your families, you, the students, we'll try to put together the individualized plans for whatever your goals are. Sometimes that entails me giving you information and guidance in terms of taking classes outside of Mount. Sometimes it's trying to put you in contact with military recruiters, or even contacting local trade and vocational school representatives to come do presentations for us. The idea here with our services in the College and Career Center is to get as much of the information that students need for whatever it is they want to do after high school. So yeah.
So how does that sound like day to day dealing with all the students' academic struggles?
I would say it's on a day-to-day basis. I'm dealing with a lot of different cases. So in some instances, I'll be called into a meeting with a counselor or teacher for students who are maybe struggling in class, but they still have ambitions to go on and do a certain type of job. And we want to know, in that hope of being able to do this job, whatever it may be one of the bright things, because they're struggling not just in their classes, but there's other things at home that they may be going through. So my presence there is try to give them all the different possible pathways, inclusive of any kind of setbacks or struggles they may be currently going through, that would still allow them to reach those goals, to obtain whatever job that is in preparations. So on some days I may be called in for meetings. Other days I still have to do a lot of office/administrative work, and that takes time. During the remote learning, I would say my day-to-days are a lot longer, just because it's been difficult to reach every single student. If we were here 100% on campus, it'd be much easier for me to hold a workshop or presentation and call in 20, 30 students at a time. And then I would say from there, students will, I can answer questions together as a group, and then send everybody off on their way. During the distance learning, it's answering a lot of individual questions, and many students have the same questions, and it just has extended and expanded the hours and the services, like over days, I would say, and months. So the timeline of things for me is definitely grown, I would say, during the distance learning, which is difficult because outside of Mount and the interactions with students, the colleges, the other organizations who provide scholarships, their deadlines usually stay the same. So we need to figure out, I need to figure out the best way on any given day to provide services to students, prioritize needs, to be able to meet those external deadlines. And then sometimes it works to, our benefit. And some students don't like it and want to have to maybe rearrange or reschedule an appointment because of me getting pulled into a different meeting or something. But again, I think I have to kind of prioritize and manage the time as best as I see fit to be able to maximize my services to students. So definitely a lot of scheduling, organization, and then rescheduling, and just always looking to see what needs my attention, at that moment.
So my final question is, what resources would you recommend a freshman check out? And why are those ultimately important for their high school career?
For freshman students, I think some of the resources they should definitely utilize, one is the College and Career Center itself. Just come in.
Yeah.
So assuming that next school year, we're past this COVID situation and we're live fully on campus, come into the College and Career Center, make an appointment. Even if we're in a hybrid situation or we're remote, email me. So that I would be number one, just to start thinking about it, because it's never too early or too late to prepare for college or career. people sometimes think, oh, we're only focused on a 4-year university. False. Whatever it is you want to do, you come in and tell me, I'm gonna help you out as best as I can. So I said, one is the College and Career Center, and any other of the college access programs that we have in here, which we have a few, EAOP, which is Early Academic Outreach Program. It's a program out of Berkeley, UC Berkeley. We have Upward Bound and ETS, Educational Talent Search. Both of those are out of DVC. And each of those programs has either 1 or 2 counselors that are here to help our students. They're also located here in the College and Career Center. So if a student comes in, 9th grade student, they're going to see me. They're going to see 3, 4, 5 other people. Other resources I would say is we have resources here on campus that students aren't taking advantage of. So one would be our student clubs and organizations. We have on the website clubs and activities list with contact information. Now, does it include every single possible interest out there? No. But as is the right for every one of our students, if you have an interest, you can create a club. Find an advisor and create a club. I would also say beyond the clubs and activities here on campus, we're close to 2 community colleges, DVC and LMC. High school students can take classes at those schools whenever they want. Of course, there's some, procedures and protocols we have to follow and some special admission forms, but that's pretty simple. So I would say kind of explore and see what they have. The number one thing I would say that's great about going to college or university is that there is a whole world of new opportunities, new classes that you've never, thought existed. Things like clubs and student centers and gyms and things like that. I had a student that graduated here, went to Sonoma State and loved it because he went he was at a roller skating rink for the first time in his life. Another girl went to Sac State and the gym had a rock climbing wall and she fell in love with rock climbing. I mean, you never know what it is that, interests you guys as the students. So it's my job to try to connect you guys with those resources and those opportunities. And then just support you the best as I can.
I'd also like to mention, so my sophomore year summer, I came in asking for another class because I wanted to take JRTC for 4 years. So I came in and I asked, I need a class, I need a language because I'm running out of time. So I came, looking for help and you helped me. And I think I sent an email saying Spanish was way too hard for me. And you said, okay, give me a call at 9 p.m. I'm like, making time for yourself, at 9 p.m., that shows how dedicated you are to, helping students out.
I'd like to say what I envision the role of the College and Career Center is more than just a College and Career Center. I'm hoping with our community here, it can become a college and career and community center. I want all of our students, their parents, their older siblings, their younger siblings to feel free to come in. Just to give you an example, one of the students I had who graduated 2019 had an older sister who also graduated from Mount, but I never worked with this older sister. But the mom, I knew the mom and then the sister, they came in and they asked, hey, can you maybe help us with the transfer application? I've finished up some classes from DVC. We want to, need some help and some guidance on our essays and our application. Would you be able to help us? And again, I had never worked with this student, with this person as a student of mine before, but because she was the older sister of a former graduate and the mom was heavily involved at her school and in the district, I felt good about it. I felt like it was just the right thing to do, and I had the time. So we scheduled a bunch of appointments after school, after I saw most of our students. So it was 4:30, things like that. And, we successfully, helped her to get into all of our colleges, and she's right now at a UCLA. But that's the point, I think. I think we want to be of service to our community. A lot of our students here at Mount are what we call first generation college students, meaning that many of them their parents had never went and graduated from and received a degree from a university here in America. So, and then if some of them whose parents may have, but maybe they work a lot or not really involved in this process. And so a lot of our students feel like they need additional support. And sometimes some of the parents want to be involved, but they just don't know how.
Yeah.
So I want the College and Career Center to be a place where students, their families, and or anyone else who's interested can come in and connect with us, and then we can connect them with you guys, the students, and then hopefully, something good can happen out of that. So it's just, you always hear it takes a village and things like that, and I really do believe in that. Can I do? And another, I don't know how often you guys have heard this, but they say that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. There's a lot of times when I just need to get stuff done, I'll do it by myself. But if I need something more comprehensive, so in this sense, in this case, we're talking about how we serve out of the College and Career Center. If we really want to make a difference on this campus, it's not just me doing things by myself. I'm connecting with you guys. I'm connecting with your families, connecting with your teachers, local organizations and businesses. And we're collectively together, working together, collaborating to provide whatever opportunities and services to our students here and our families. I was just on a Zoom call, and it was like an immigration resources fair. For a lot of our, international families and students. So one, letting them know about some of the opportunities at our community colleges, the language support, the community support, the financial aid. Also, we invite local organizations. I think we had somebody on there that was talking about DACA. So I think it's never a one type thing. So when I hear that, Mount is this type of school with these type of students, well, that's always changing because times change. So it would be in our best interests as faculty and staff and as students and families to always be aware of this changing environment, just so we can be in tune with our community, right? The various cultures and the various situations that come with that. Yeah, they're doing an interview.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. Have a seat, or they're just asking some questions,
It was at this time that someone actually walked into Mr. Brown's office to ask him questions about student academics. Now, this is a common occurrence at Mr. Brown's office, and this just goes to show you how much information the CCC and Mr. Brown has and why it's such a useful resource at Mount Diablo High School. I'll let you hear some of the interaction, and then we'll continue our questions afterwards.
Yeah, I can sit for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to interrupt. I was just going to ask you a quick question, but
Yeah.
I can ask later. Because I guess we're in another meeting.
Oh, whatever. I mean, I'm good either way. What do you got?
Real quick, sorry to interrupt, guys.
So it's all good.
8th graders coming into 9th, can they take classes at DVC?
They can. You mean before they actually start here?
Yeah.
So they actually can. There's going to be an option on that special admit form. They'll probably just, mark that they're 14 or 15, but they're only going to be able to take one class.
What was like the best part of your job as a college and career counselor?
The best part of my job, it's really difficult just because I'd say, so as you guys know, a lot of my job, as the title implies, college and career, I definitely speak to a lot of seniors. Yes, I work with all grades 9 through 12, but I definitely work with a lot of seniors. Sometimes I don't see all the 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, but they'll come to me as a senior, and then we're working together on, getting them into an apprenticeship program or something like that.
Right.
So with that being said, I would say your guys' class is the first class I've had. This is my 4th year here. So, technically I've been around since you guys were freshmen. So you're my first full group of class. So, and I'm new to, relatively new to public education.
Right.
I've been working in education in other forms and settings for the past like 10 years. But in terms of public education, this is kind of my first stint here at Mount. And especially and specifically in this capacity. But it's being able to see you guys grow, evolve, seeing how you guys tell me about your interests, your ideas, dreams, and plans. And then, for some students, it's the excitement of getting into a university.
Right.
For other students, it's finally figuring out what they want to do. A lot of students just don't know, and that's fine. But when they come here, I'm hoping together we can figure something out so they do have something to work towards after graduation.
Right.
So it's that moment, and it comes at different parts. It's not like college acceptances, those come, early spring, but it's that realization like, okay, I'm about to take this next step and looking forward to it. I think that's probably the best, my favorite thing about this position. It's just being a part of that moment with the students and the families of you guys taking the next step.
Right.
You hear this idea of coming of age. You guys are literally at this time in your life where you're coming of age, growing, developing, and starting to form these ideas of the type of adults you're going to be, individuals, So that's my favorite, like being a part of that.
Yeah.
That's why I do this job, and specifically, as opposed to some other type of counselor or counselor.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly appreciative of your help, because I remember back in like the start of senior year, you were doing like presentations about college and stuff like that, and I started to get really interested in it. But I didn't go to that route since I'm joining the military. But it got me really excited and interested in going to do like ROTC scholarship and trying to become an officer in the military.
Yeah.
So I think all of us already.
Great. Yeah. No, I mean, even that, like I said, when you and your classmates, when you guys tell me, oh, I'm interested in going to the military, I don't think there's ever been a student where I was like, no, don't do that. You know what I mean? Don't go there. Stay.
Right.
No, it's, I feel my role isn't to tell you where to go, where not to go. It's to give you the information, talk about what that pathway looks like. Ask you, is that what is your initial idea and vision of what this is supposed to be? Now with this information, and do you see it differently? Do you feel differently about your decisions? And if you still, and it's going to do one of two things. One, it's either going to challenge your ideas and make you think, you know what, maybe this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and I don't need to go to the military. Or it's going to reaffirm your ideas, be like, you know what, okay, it's a little bit different, but I'm still good. I'm still determined to go this path of the military or college or career, trades. So I think that's, if I didn't challenge you guys in what you want or things you think you want, then I think I wouldn't be doing my job.
Right.
So I think it's only going to bring forth, like I said, it's either going to make you really think twice, and then in that process, it's either going to support your decision or at least change it, but at least you're giving it thought, and that's what's important.
Yeah, and you gave us the information, so yeah, thank you. So I have another question. It's like tips and tricks on how to look competitive for colleges.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say right now, there's really no tricks to it.
Not for our seniors, but
but the tips in terms of being, and this is actually, I'm glad you asked this question, because I'm a firm believer that we need to move our focus in terms of here at Mount from just being eligible to being competitive. I think we always tell you what the minimum is, but I've never been an individual myself, nor would I really genuinely counsel any students or guide any students to just shoot for the minimum. I'm always going to say, give me your best effort and let's go as high, go as far as we can go.
Right.
Just because we need to see what we can actually do. And so what I would say in terms of tips on being competitive, you have to be authentic. You got to be, and when I say that, meaning what are things you're genuinely interested in? Who are you? So if you're telling me, you know, I like being active, I like being physical, I like the outdoors. Okay, so then let's look at those kind of activities.
Right.
You know, and I would say utilize your time outside the classroom. When you're not in class, every single college wants to know, what are you doing? Are you working? Do you have a hobby that you commit hours upon hours to? Do you have family responsibilities and obligations? Are you at a church or temple, you know, every weekend? Do you do community service? Like I said, if you love the outdoors, are you out there in the summer doing, are you a camp counselor or doing some kind of sports clinic for kids or something like that?
Right.
That's how you stand out. That's how you become competitive, is showing that, hey, these are my strengths. And some colleges are going to be, yes, that's what we're looking for. Some are going to be, nah, you know what, that's not what we're looking for. And that's fine, because that also tells you that maybe that wasn't a good fit or a good placement for you.
Right.
You may think, oh, I want to go to UC Berkeley. Yeah, but will Berkeley be the best fit for you? Right. Even our own students. I'm a Cal guy, right? I graduated from, Go Bears. We get students that get into Berkeley. And then I know, like I said, I've been tracking their academic progress. I look at their extracurriculars. I've had conversations like this with them to get to know their personality. And I asked all the students, I was like, why do you want to go to, Berkeley? Why do you want to go to Cal? Because I know what the environment's like. I know what the myths, right, about Berkeley. It's stressful. It's super competitive. And then I tell them, I was like, you know what? You guys are hard workers. You've definitely earned it. You can do it. But some of those myths, they come from seeds of truth. Not all of them, but some of them do. And I'm going to tell you this, there's a lot of smart kids and hard workers at Cal. And they're going to be stressed. And they may, their stress may lead to your stress. It just kind of depends on how you absorb that and things like that, So I would, even things like that, I would say, I'd question them. But as long as you're always your authentic self, whatever you're interested in, what your strengths are, do that. So if you're good at math, go as far in math as you can to stand out. Just to let them know that I got skills in math, right?
Right.
If you are an artist and you put together a portfolio, do a weekend, visits to the museums. Let them know that, yeah, I didn't just visit. I'm actually studying art. It costs $15 to get into this art gallery, and then I'm there for 3 hours studying art. This is what I've learned. That's free education that you took and crafted for yourself.
Right.
Right? If you're into cars, are you under the hood? Are you looking and are you online? This day and age, we have access to technology like no other. Not only all these different social media platforms, but you have all the YouTube and everything else. We have all these online learning companies coming out with curriculum and things like that.
Yeah.
There's really no excuse why any student today can't learn more about the things that interest them the most. And that's what colleges want to see. If you want to be competitive, that's what you got to do. At a certain point, and this is the hard talk I have with some of the more ambitious students. We don't make excuses, we make it happen. So at a certain point, you can say, oh, well, I didn't do this, I didn't have time, There's going to be a lot of challenges from now until throughout your whole adulthood. But how do you problem solve? How do you prioritize and time manage? And how do you just get the results? They're going to look for that. They're looking for, can you get the work done? Sure, there's going to be instances where you're like, oh, I feel for you because all these things. But you really, I would say, definitely try your best to just work hard and then, go above and beyond. Just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean that you need to follow that path. Sometimes you need to do more.
Wow. That was very informative. Damn. Okay. So my next question is, for those who are going to be transitioning to college, so like the seniors, for example, Nick,
Mhm.
how can they I guess what are some tips for
Mhm.
those who are going to college? Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say the number one thing for students transitioning to college, whether it's community college or four-year university, is to familiarize yourself with your environment, right? So for students who are going away, right? When I say going away, going to a school that's further away from home,
Right.
learn and familiarize yourself with what's around you, because you're not going to be able, especially if you don't drive and you're not familiar with that area, you don't want to just seem lost. So you familiarize yourself with your new environment, which includes knowing and learning all your resources, all the services that are provided to you. If there's a little hint or an idea that you may struggle maybe with writing, you're an okay writer, but you're worried that you're not going to be a great writer. Where's the tutoring center? Where's the writing center? Does my department offer additional tutoring outside of the general college population and things? Also get to know people. There's some people that are going to be, if you're living in the dormitory or you're in a class, some people are going to be really good.
Right.
Who's the smart kid in class? Find him or her, right?
Yeah.
Who's the ones that love to just get into the material and really just throw around, discussions on the text? Find that person. So that's how you be successful. One, just familiarize yourself with your environment, and then connect with your resources and the people that are around you. Because once you do that, you're gonna feel connected to campus. You're gonna feel like you're a student or you're a part of that new that new environment. That would be the number one thing, because a lot of students, especially first gen, as I mentioned, we have a lot of first generation students here. They go through what's called imposter syndrome. They feel that for some reason, somehow, they don't belong or they don't deserve this, and that's definitely not true. Or you can try to disprove it by kicking butt, working hard, right? And doing it the way that's like I said, by connecting and working and knowing your resources, knowing your people.
Yeah, makes sense. Awesome. So then, what would be other opportunities than that students have other than college?
Other opportunities? There's a ton. You mean after high school?
Yes, after high school.
After high school, well, if you're talking about work, we live.
Like the workforce.
Was it?
Or like the workforce.
Yeah, the workforce. We live in an area with a lot of different trades.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about folks that want to become electricians, carpenters, construction workers, HVAC workers, plumbers, steam fitters, welders. And so both community colleges near us, DVC and LMC, have programs that are pre-apprenticeship programs. So they do the math and a little bit of the general knowledge for, let's say, electrical, that will help you to, because for a lot of the trades, you do have to take some type of initial exam just to kind of see where you are with stuff. Right. And then you'll have classes with them. But we have a lot of those programs and the pre-apprenticeship programs through the community colleges. Through our district, we have Mount Diablo Unified Adult Ed. They have a lot of career tech programs. So folks that want to be nurses or doctors, assistants, or medical assistants, sonographers, or sonar techs. Our adult ed center has like EMT programs and other pre-professional programs.
Right.
So we have these type of programs in our area. And aside from the trades, we do have the military. All four branches of the military, recruiters from all four branches of the military have contacted me. They contact me every year. They leave me their cards, their information, their emails. They ask about doing presentations and workshops. So that's another path that will also lead to other careers with the built-in training through the military.
Right.
So the military kind of houses, it's more of a comprehensive pathway in the sense that if you choose that, it's not just the basic training to get you in physical shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that whole process itself it'll take you from that to, your, as you guys put it, your advanced individual training for your job specifics. And that training isn't, what do you call it? It isn't specific or utilized only within the military environment. If one day you decide to end your military career and go back to civilian life and you want to find a job in the civilian world, all that knowledge and training follows you. And the experience as well. So when I say comprehensive, that's what I mean. That includes your education, your training, and a job essentially while you're in the military. And then that all gets chalked up to experience when you leave the military. So trade programs and the military are other two excellent options for our students when they're not doing, when they choose not to go for community college or university.
Yeah. Awesome. So then what is your advice to those who are ambitious, even for the workforce or even in university?
They're not like,
so like if they're studying to choose like university or even the workforce or even the military, what's your advice to those who are ambitious?
I would just say explore all your options. And that's my advice for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders, anybody, whatever you're considering, do your research. So I have so many students that tell me, hey, I want to go in the military. Know nothing about the military. Not even in ROTC, right? They just say, I want to go in the military. And they know nothing. Like, what do you want to do? Oh, I saw this movie. Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Or other kids that tell me, oh, I want to go to Cal. Okay, great. So what do you want to study? I don't know what they got there. What do you mean? What do they have there? So, or I have students tell me, oh, Mr. Brown, I want to be a doctor. All right, great. How many years of school do you need to be a doctor? I don't know. So I think our office, the College and Career Center, helps in bringing and finding and researching a lot of this info.
Yeah.
But it definitely takes the students' desire and will and not just interest. See, a lot of people tell me, oh, we need to nurture interest. But I think that's the start, of course. But I want to see we take interest and go beyond interest to commitment and dedication. So then when you're telling me, so then we get to a point where first maybe you come to me and say, hey, Ms. Brown, I'm interested in becoming a doctor. Okay, great. Let's talk about and research what it takes to become a doctor. What kind of doctor, what kind of medicine, We do that research. We find that info. A couple years later, they're now a junior and a senior. And they've done all these activities that would help them, their chances at getting into college to study medicine, biology, or whatever. And then now they have a better idea in terms of what type of doctor they want to be by the time they leave here, and maybe when they're applying to school and things like that. So my advice to any student, whether you're going to college, the military, or work, is to do your homework, do your research, and just know what all your options. And when you know not just what options, but about each of those different options, then you're making an informed decision. And that's the best thing I can ask and hope for you guys is do whatever you want to do, but make sure it's an informed decision and you're not just walking blindly.
Right.
So.
Not trying to shine a bad light, but what do you think is great about the Academy system, especially at Mount?
What I think is great about the Academy system? I think the Academy system, it gives students the educational and sometimes, depending on the class, the hands-on experience to kind of peek down some of these different pathways, right? We have our 4 main academies, DSA, MBTA, Acme, and IHTA. So if you have, most of our students don't know what they want to do. So I think some of these academies, or all the academies in the classes, give the students a little more, like I said, hands-on experience and a little bit of education in these areas. So they have maybe a little bit of a sense of what someone in hospitality is gonna, what they do. Somebody in culinary arts, what do they do? Same thing for DSA and all the other academies, coding, graphics, media science or media studies and graphic design, engineering, construction. So everything, I think it just gives them a peek into it. And to be honest, if students take their classes super seriously, their academy classes, and they do well, and they seek additional scholarships and internships and other things, then those opportunities are also out there, and that would help the students stand out. When they're going into whether it's a college program or university applications or admissions or some other kind of specialized program or scholarship, having those classes, will help them stand out a little bit more. So I do think it gives them a sneak peek into some of these different industries. And that would probably be the biggest strength of the academy system.
So what's the biggest weakness?
The weakness. So I would say the biggest weakness that I can think of is so when I came here, these academies, the specific ones that we have, IHTA, MBTA, ACME, and DSA, were already in existence and formed when I came here. My question would be, one, like any other program or school that has such a system, what were the initial intentions and goals of an academy model? That would be one. And are we still meeting those goals, right? So if the goal is to train students, educate students in these various fields for the purpose of giving them enhanced opportunities in these fields and industries after high school, I would check to see if our academy structure is still doing that. Another comment or critique that I would say is, are the academies that we have we ever thought about having other academies or swapping them out? I know there's issues like personnel, do we have enough teachers, all this other stuff. But I mean, I think it's a good question, just because essentially the students in our enrollment area, they're forced to come here. And we're a wall-to-wall academy school. So then essentially they're also forced to be in one of these four. But if you're not interested in any of these things, then how does that really benefit you as a student? So I think at some point I would like, ourselves, and when I say ourselves, I mean the faculty, admin, district, whatever, to could we potentially do some research there and see what the interests are in terms of not just interests of students and families, but also look to see in terms of industries. Are these the fields and industries that are, most popular in terms of, job openings and job perspectives? Because then if let's say, for example, for whatever reason, I'm gonna pick on ACME for this right now, that they're architecture, construction management, engineering. If for some reason there's a dip and there's no more need for engineers and architects and things like that, then my question would be, then why do we have an ACME Academy, and why don't we change it for something that's maybe a little more relevant to our times? It's the same thinking mentality that I have, is why we should always be very cognizant of our community and the cultures that comprise our community. Like right now, Mount is roughly 60% Hispanic Latino population, right? We have a lot of Spanish-speaking families and students. Could we say that, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago? I don't know. I haven't done the actual research on that, but if the population was different, then our services would change, right? Now we offer not just our World Academy, but it's these ELD, ESL classes, support classes and things like that to help the families and the students to transition to one of our four main academies. But that's because we have the population. Putting in the context of academies, if we don't have the interest or the need isn't out there, then what are we doing? Maybe we need to shift, revise.
Right.
And that's all I'm saying. Not necessarily that we just get rid of them completely, but if there's no interest either from students or from the outside world, then what are we preparing you guys for? We're going to prepare you to be engineers, and let's say the world doesn't need any more engineers. I know that's a very extreme example, but I mean, I think the logic still holds.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like if you put it in perspective like that, why are you going to force a student down a career path when it might not be necessary for them or society, to even be teaching that career path in the first place?
Absolutely.
I think like me and Jacob and Josh, we've came like to the conclusion that we think that there should be an option for students, like if there ever could be, if something could be changed to change the schedule at Mount for students to opt out of academy, or being in academy, instead of just being forced into an academy and then never ever liking or being in any of the academy classes. Or you might be interested in something else and you want to have that extra space for electives, in your schedule to do what you want.
No, I definitely think you bring up some really valid points there, a valid position. I think something like that would most likely have to be student driven, just because I don't think a message like that coming from faculty or staff would necessarily change the overall view of the academy system, because it's kind of saying, okay, well, if I say, oh yeah, we're going to change it to this, now it's still more of the same, right? You have the district, the teachers, or somebody, the admin, and telling you guys what we are saying is the most prevalent, the most common, or popular. And so even if we swap out Acme for a social justice academy, right? That's just us telling you that this is what you should know, right? I think if you really want something that speaks more to the interests and what's relevant to the families and the population, it has to come from our families and the population. So that's one. And then two, I think in a more practical sense too, like a lot of things, there may be a financial component. So there may be certain funding and things that we receive. I don't know. So I don't know if a wall-to-wall specific model comes with additional funding versus a non-wall-to-wall academy model. I believe, for example, if YV, maybe Northgate, they have academies, but it's not necessarily a wall-to-wall academy. Yeah. So what that means is students will still have to finish a sequence of classes to then say, I finished this academy, like I'm an academy student. So let's take DSA, for example, multimedia 1, 2, and 3. Those would just be electives, and if you finish those, then you'll get the certificate or some recognition or something like that. I don't know if that comes with any kind of ties to funding or something like that, wall to wall versus non-wall to wall, and would that change anything? I don't know either. So, but I do think it may be worth doing some kind of study, some self-study on this model, this academy model.
In case anybody were to ever want the need to do that, to form a group and then voice their concerns about why they think the academy model is bad specifically, I guess.
Well, I mean, so, I try to pretty much play with Switzerland here, you know what I mean, in terms of being neutral, because I can see it from both ways.
Yeah.
When I first got here, I heard a lot of, anecdotal perspectives about, our academy model system was somehow directly conflicted with our AP course availabilities. And I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I didn't know at the time, but as I've spoken with the admin, and when we talk about scheduling and things like that, it's just mostly a matter of student interest in scheduling. So then we squashed that particular concern. Then you look at other things that for example, people who are not interested in an academy model, the claims that they would bring up. And I always think that, a lot of their arguments can be solved, if we kind of think about, again, mostly scheduling. And so I don't know if there will be anybody who would be interested in actually doing a study to change things. I think we would have to see data that suggested that this type of setup wasn't working.
Yeah.
And I don't know what data we would look at specifically. But we can see. But the one thing I would say is, again, that might help to that, if would be our students going into majors and fields for the academies that we have, which is slightly different than whether or not the academy model is working or not.
So since you said you've been here for 4 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, you've been here since me, Jacob, and Josh have started high school here in 2017. So and throughout your 4 years, what do you think has been, if there has not been, the biggest change that you've brought to this school?
Mhm.
And if there hasn't, what would you like to bring to the school, in the future?
So there's a couple items that for me personally and professionally for this position that I want to complete in terms of projects and things like that. One, I want to really raise our family parent participation. I want parents to be involved for a couple reasons. One, when parents are here, they know what's going on. They can ask questions, and they also can have those conversations with the students. And I feel that just makes everything we do just so much better when you know that even if mom and dad can't physically be here for this meeting, that meeting, but they know what's going on because they attended a parent meeting some other day, or they're reading the emails and the communication that gets sent out, right? Then they can have those conversations with you guys, right? And I always talk about informed decisions and just doing your homework, doing your research, and that's just also just being aware of what's happening. So I think one, parent participation, I definitely want to see what we can do from the College and Career Center's position to help assist campus-wide efforts to increase parent participation. Another one is from the college standpoint. We on average, we're getting like maybe 24-25% of the senior class each year accepted to 4 universities, but a lower percentage actually going. I want to move the needle completely on that.
Yeah.
One, I have ideas of close to like 50% of our seniors applying, and then having more than 30%, 35% being accepted, and then whoever else also signed up and going to like community college. Those are, again, more personal kind of goals that are aligned with what I do. On the career side, I really want to bring in more people to come in talking about different jobs and careers. The military, like one year we had, I think you guys, do you remember we had the Army brought out their like STEM vehicle? I don't know if you guys were here for that. They parked a truck, and then inside there was like a video game they were playing. And you get to go into, okay. So, well, we did that. There was one day, I think we had that. They parked a truck out there, and then people got to go on the truck.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I just really want to connect our students to the career side of the College and Career Center. I think we need to do a lot more there. So that's a third point I would say. Parent participation, increase our 4-year college, 4-year university going rate, and just university or college in total, in general. Career awareness. I was trying to get, right before we went to distance learning, I was trying to get the school to host all campus ASVAB testing, which is career testing. And I was trying to do that the same day we would do PSAT 10s for the 10th graders. I'd have the 11th and 12th graders do the ASVAB testing. And we went, it didn't happen. We all got sent home for quarantine. So, but that's to try to hone in on the interests, again, the career interests of some of our students. I would say the last thing that I'm just on my to-do list, what was it? Oh, I want to connect, it's kind of career related, but our location is excellent. We're like downtown Concord. We're walking distance to Todos Santos Plaza, right? So many businesses around us, between here and like DVC, between here and LMC, that our families frequent. I want to build a scholarship that's a community-based scholarships where we'll promote, host, connect with all of our local businesses. They get maybe tax write-offs for donating to our scholarship fund. And we can really have a lot of scholarships, more scholarship money for students here at Mount from the community. I want to have a job fair with these same organizations. So when it comes, like the summer's coming up, sophomores, juniors, seniors looking for a job, they have resumes, and then we host all of them on, a table, whatever, and then they can interview you guys on the spot, review, collect, talk about their businesses, what's the expectation, the positions they're looking for, collect resumes, things like that. So again, the idea of making this more not just the college and career center, but the college, career, and community center, I mean that.
Yeah.
So I'm planning to not go anywhere until I can definitely get us closer to those objectives. So those are my personal objectives for the College and Career Center. And I think we've been falling short in the career aspect a little bit just because the numbers for going to 4 universities were so low. And so one of the initial priorities for our administrative team was to try to get more students applying and going to 4 universities. And that's not meaning that we focus on that and leave everything else out. But I think as a consequence, we just hadn't had the time to really build up more of the career stuff. And I want to make sure that accurate information goes out. There's a misunderstanding, for example, on our campus about what JROTC is really about. They think, oh, that's just a pipeline into the military. No, from what I can tell and what I understand, I was in JROTC in my high school. And it's the work, the leadership and community service that comes out of JROTC is, I think, maybe unmatched from any other group on our campus. But that's not what the narrative is when you talk about it with other faculty and staff. It's just, oh, isn't that like the military program? You're starting in the wrong place. Yeah. That's the leadership program. That's what you need to say. Because I think it's also one of the only outlets or opportunities or class, however you want to put it, that we have on campus that focuses on character building. So there's I don't know if they still have this. The JROTC talk about 14 character traits and 7 leadership traits or something like that. Yeah, so that's built into the curriculum, and that's something that I don't think we focus on in today's world necessarily in any class or any other opportunity. So I think the program itself is valuable, and there's just a misunderstanding of what the actual program is, and that's just one example of making sure that accurate information about all of our programs and services gets out there to the public. Again, not that the College and Career Center only focuses on college. No, we want to also focus on career opportunities and things.
Yeah, communication about that specifically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, all right. I do have one last question, which is, I guess, more of a personal question. It's how has being a college career counselor at a public high school helped you? I guess, has it changed the perspective you have of a teenager's journey through high school?
So just to give you some more context about where my answer is coming from, and prior to coming to Mount Diablo High School, Mount Diablo Unified, I spent a significant amount of time living and working in Shanghai, China, and Seoul, South Korea, and worked at private language institutions teaching English. I've taught at an international high school, which was private, teaching a bunch of different subjects there. Worked at these other private education consulting firms in Korea. Again, but working with a lot of families who I would say were well off. If you look at it from a very socioeconomic lens, like they were well off. Just to give you an idea, one of the kids I was working with, his father was like the number 3 guy at Asiana Airlines. Like, I mean, and then when they came to a meeting, I was standing on the balcony of our company, and the mom was coming in one black sedan from one direction. The student was coming in a separate black sedan from the opposite direction. They both parked and then got out separate cars to come to our offices. Now I bring that up to lead into why I actually came to Mount to begin with, or came back to California. Is just that I'm from Oakland, California, and I went to public schools in Oakland. I went to, in my opinion, one of the best public universities out there. UC Berkeley, go Bears.
The Bruins.
And I thought that what I learned throughout my education, all my different posts, the experiences that I've had, was valuable, and I was definitely helping those students that I was working with when I was in China and South Korea. However, I wanted to do more. And I thought about myself and other students like myself, and then not knowing that we didn't really have the same type of resources and assistance and the guidance, and just to give us, like you said, that competitive edge coming out of high school, right? I mean, not just being eligible, but being competitive and standing out. So I thought that, there has to be some opportunities out there for me to apply my experience, my industry know-how, my education to help other students that, similar to myself, I'm growing up, first generation college students, get that access to that information, and then, show them how they can stand out, show them how they could advance themselves, elevate themselves and their families. And then in a sense, when we do that enough times, we elevate the community. And that's what I was trying to do. And that's why I do this. This is why I came here. This is why, I do what I do and why I enjoy it so much. It's on a very individual basis, because I know through my position here, I'm not necessarily changing the world, but I'm possibly changing the world for each individual student that, I can work with successfully. So yeah, that's kind of, I knew that in schools where the families are like well off, I could be helpful, but I felt here at Mount Diablo High School I could make a difference. I know that may sound a certain way, like, oh, he's out here trying to save. I'm not trying to save everyone. I'm just trying to do what I can do from my desk, that's helpful. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you, Brown, for letting us.
Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Brown.
You're welcome. Well, I
Thank you,
appreciate
Mr.
it.
Brown, for letting us talk to you today. And that's gonna do it. We're gonna move on to the next segment. See you guys. Are you sick and tired of non-DSA students entering your virtual classroom? Because once they're in, they're not going to stop talking about non-related DSA topics that have no place here. Well, I know the product just for you. The Miss B. Yeah. Once you have a Miss B added to your scalp, you will have the confidence to kick out those pesky non-DSA students out of your class. You can place an order for the Miss B at www.missbgetout.com. They only come at 60 Romanian lei. Side effects may include a thick Romanian accent, avid screaming, hallucinations, itchy scalp that can spread to other places of your body, amnesia, sleep paralysis, vomiting, and bloating. Only available in one of the 8 Romanian development regions. So order yours today with the link in our description. But wait, you can go ahead and get 10% off if you use promo code Epidose at checkout. And we're back. I hope you enjoyed the interview.
Mhm.
We had to schedule that with Mr. Brown. He's a very nice person, as you can tell in the recording.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, very awesome dude. I'm glad I got to know him for 4 years. You guys have any thoughts? I mean, do you guys have any like experiences with Mr. Brown?
Well, I said mine during the interview.
Yeah.
That was an amazing experience.
I mean, he does help a lot of people like that, like in the exact same way. That might be your only like interaction with them. I've had 2 times where. No, I've had 1 time where I had to drop a class as well, but he didn't help me. It was Miss Chacon, but she was part of the CCC program, or the center, the College and Career Center, anyways. So we're just trying to prove that the CCC is actually a good resource for Mount.
Yeah. I wish I was more involved in it. Definitely.
Mhm.
The CCC.
You wish you were more involved?
Yeah.
I mean, they have good things to offer.
Yeah. Amazing things.
Great opportunities, a lot of insight into what actually happens there from Mr. Brown, as you heard. And there was actually someone that came in when we were recording.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and when we were recording, it wasn't even a school day. There was no class going on. It was just another admin that was wondering a question. And if another admin comes and goes and asks another admin about something that has to do with college or classes, then the CCC is a good resource because they just have all the answers. Mr. Brown has all the answers. And he was
And
very
if he doesn't, he will find it.
yeah, actually
he will stay in touch with you until he will find an answer.
Yeah. So I'm glad we got to teach you about how the CCC is at Mount, and hope that any Mount students who are listening to this right now will actually use it as a resource.
Yeah.
Because it is helpful, and you need something there while you're going through your 4 years at Mount, unless you don't plan to go to college or university. They can also help you with career choices as well, which Josh talked to Mr. Brown about. So yeah,
I think podcasts definitely help shine a light at the good things about Mount.
Yes, exactly.
And that helped me to understand, like, oh, Mount isn't that bad.
Yeah,
that's
Mount
what
is
we
not
try to
that
tell
bad.
everyone.
Yeah.
True.
I had that mentality, like, I didn't like Mount, but I think, well, I did also love Mount. I love my academy and love the junior ROTC program. But I think our time here helped me understand, like, hey, this is actually a pretty good school, nice school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when you complete your 4 years, as you graduate, you ask yourself the question, did I change over these 4 years? And was it good or bad?
Yeah. And was Mount Diablo the force that helped attribute to your change as an individual with all the different academies that they have?
Or clubs or programs.
Or clubs or JROTC, Key Club, leadership. I mean, these are all good opportunities that if Mount didn't have, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would come out of it differently. Because a lot of our star students are like our top 100 are involved in some way in a club or very academically inclined in their academy. So it doesn't go unsaid that these don't help individuals grow and change at Mount Diablo High School.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the end of the Epidose Podcast. I hope you guys enjoy listening to us talk about our experiences at Mount and also some criticism. But generally, mostly just positive things about being a student there and the resources, the academies, the different clubs, JRTC, and also me being an art student. I hope you guys enjoy listening to that and granting us this opportunity to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm your host, Nicholas Martinez, signing off. See ya.
I am your other host, Joshua Urbina, signing off.
And your final host, Jacob Delarosa, signing off.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you to everyone who made this podcast possible. Epidose is produced and mixed by me. All of us are on the production and operations team. Jacob Delarosa is our editorial advisor, who also let us use his studio to record. Our theme music is composed by Matt Large. Score and other background music composed by Just Normal and Tim Doraviev. Special thanks to Miss Gail, Mr. Brown of Mount Diablo High. Epidose is a production of the Digital Safari Academy.